What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope everyone had an absolutely wonderful day. The new desperate plan rolled out by Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch, a lot of people seem to be calling it, is have you ever heard the saying, desperation is a stinky cologne? Well, that's kind of exactly what this is. They don't really know what to do. They are refusing to apologize. They know essentially because of the way these ESG scores and all this kind of stuff, the way all that works, they really can't apologize publicly. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place as they are no longer the number one selling beer in the country. So they've been putting out statements. Now they're saying, oh, no. We've got it all figured out. We've got a huge plan because Americans are stupid. We're just going to flood them with new patriotic ads, and they're just going to forget all about this. And I've got some funny anecdotes from the last weekend, and we're going to get into all that after a super quick word from this video's sponsor, Mech Arena. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Mech Arena, the game I absolutely love to play. And you know what else I love? Progress. And Mech Arena's got a ton of ways for you to progress and collect that sweet, sweet level up joy. And the first thing about Mech Arena you need to know is that it's free to play and it's super easy to get into. There's also a few things to do straight away so you can really see what the game has to offer. The first thing you'll want to do is progress to Division 9. That'll unlock more things to do in the game, tournaments, 5v5 death matches, free-for-all mode. But what's a division? Divisions are one of the ways you'll progress in Mech Arena. Win matches and you'll earn ranking points. Earn enough ranking points and you'll go up a division. There's absolutely tons to do in this game. And in June, Mech Arena is celebrating with all types of skins that you can earn in-game. Later the month, they're also introducing an epic sci-fi themed event, bringing a spectacular new map, Chain Gun Scorpius, which is an attacker mech with a powerful javelin array ability, and a new heavy-duty pilot with an awesome unique look. It's completely free to play on Android, iOS, and PC right now, and you can use my personal link or scan the QR code right here to get a free starter pack worth $15, a Prodigy crate, 300 A coins, and a Pulse Cannon 4 to help kickstart your game. And if you're quick, you can add me to your friends as Colt's dad and join me in game via my Mech ID, and we can play some matches together, so don't wait around. Use the link in the description, get Mech Arena today, and we can play together next time I stream it. Now, a quick little check-in on the InBev stock is an interesting one, isn't it? There were a lot of lefties who invested money in them and have been talking about how much money they've made because over the past 5 days, it has been rallying. If you had just put money in, it's up nearly 5% in the past 5 days, and it has recovered a good chunk of what it lost in the last 30 days. Now, of course, for the past 6 months, not so much, but we also see in general, complete downward, a complete collapse in the stock today. Now, Anheuser-Busch pushes new Bud Light rescue, but has not offered any kind of apology for the Mulvaney disaster. Brendan Whitworth, the U.S. boss of Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light's parent company, will cut checks to reeling wholesalers and distributors, but also avoided apologizing for the Dylan Mulvaney fiasco. Now, for a lot of people who don't, I didn't know before I started covering this either, how this all works. The distributors and wholesalers are usually independent companies, and because the demand had been so brutally diminished, they were getting hammered by, just the loss in sales, the loss in money. And so Budweiser now is continuing to have to subsidize. And by the way, I will say this, that is the right thing to do. It is not the distributor's fault or the wholesaler's fault that you decided you wanted to get political and do this kind of stuff. And so, backing them, helping them out, I think is, the correct thing to do. Whitworth said, the discussion surrounding our company and Bud Light has moved away from beer, he announced in a 3-step plan to revive the tarnished brand on Thursday. The beer baron has yet to directly address the disastrous tie-up with the influencer, which led to the boycott calls that have knocked Bud Light from its 2-decade perch as America's #1 selling beer. Instead, he offered a financial olive branch from the Belgian-based beer giant that involves, quote, investing to protect jobs of our frontline employees, and launching a new ad campaign this summer that will tout the beer as easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Well, that's been their position, their like whatchamacallit. That's been their tagline for a long time. That's not even new. Quote, we are providing financial assistance to our independent wholesalers to help keep them afloat to support employees. He also said the company would reimburse distributors for the freight and fuel surcharge through the end of 2023 as cases of Bud Light languish on store shelves. The third part of the plan involves launching a more palatable ad campaign that will reinforce what you've always loved about our brand, that they think is easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Again, they think Americans are stupid, or not just Americans, but people who are, stepping out on this product around the world. Sales of Bud Light have consistently moved downhill since early April when beer drinkers outrage over the partnership. Modelo Especial, the Mexican lager, claimed the crown as America's best-selling beer in May, according to data compiled from Bump Williams. Now, tomorrow we'll get new data from Bump Williams as well. Will we ever really get to the 30%, downtick in sales? It seems like a long shot, but I mean, we got pretty dang close. Beer brands in Anheuser-Busch portfolio have also seen a sales leg in recent weeks, including Budweiser and Michelob Ultra, while competitors like Coors Light and Miller Lite, both of which are properties of Molson Coors, have reaped the benefits. According to research firm Circana, sales of Bud Light fell by 23% year over year in May to $297.3 million, while rival lager Modelo Especial was catapulted to the top spot, generating $331 million, a 15% increase year over year. Now, that's a very significant number. And you see Shark Tank billionaire Mark Cuban pushed back against the controversy, saying how woke ideology is good for business. Well, yeah, we saw Mark Cuban show his whole rear this weekend, shilling for Big Pharma, getting himself involved in the Joe Rogan discussion, debate, all this kind of stuff. But, that's neither here nor there. Our thing is, if you're let into the house, you're saying that. Most recently, famed country singer Garth Brooks said he'll offer every brand of beer at his new Nashville bar. One thing is, if you're let into this house, love one another. He added that upcoming watering hole called Friends in Low Places and Bar and Honky Tonk. Well, I'm pretty sure that I've read some articles about a disastrous grand opening for that, but that's neither here nor there. You can see here, Anheuser-Busch releases a "We Hear You" statement. We covered that on Friday. Now, Bud Light launching new effort to regain marketing dominance. Anheuser-Busch gives Bud Light distributors financial support. I mean, it's so bad that they have to now, some distributors will be paid 20 to 50 cents per case, depending on how bad sales have fallen, according to the report. Anheuser-Busch will also pick up the tab for any fuel and freight surcharges. The decision from Anheuser-Busch comes as Bud Light sales are down 25% year over year, and the beer is no longer the top beer in America. Nobody would have believed you if you thought that it would fall from the top spot over this, but here we are. The bad news for Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light is there's no end in sight. The backlash has been unrelenting for more than 2.5 months. Generally speaking, outrage and backlash lasts a couple of days at most. Then everyone moves on, except not this time. People have had enough of the woke nonsense. Bud Light pushed things too far by teaming up with Dylan Mulvaney, and now the company and Anheuser-Busch are feeling the pain. Things are really bad when a powerhouse booze company has to start writing checks because the bleeding just won't stop. When you see a lot of these articles too from the media, they're all spinning it and saying like, oh, well, actually there's people who are less interested in lagers and things of that matter now. That's really why it's happening, which is baloney. We know this because it's going directly, the sales are getting directly translated to other products. Then if we look at this article, Anheuser-Busch's own employees, Anheuser-Busch employee hints company sabotaged Bud Light on purpose. former Anheuser-Busch employee has suggested in an interview that the brewing companies deliberately sabotaged Bud Light in an attempt to cut costs. Starting in April, Bud Light had been subjected to a relentless backlash for a small branded partnership it had with Dylan Mulvaney in a video posted on Instagram. We know about the sales going on. The former Anheuser-Busch employee, who said he worked for the company for 10 years before being laid off in recent weeks, told conservative commentator Tommy Lahren in an interview that he believes the downfall may have been orchestrated. Speaking anonymously on Lahren's Outkick.com show, the former employee said that he had previously worked for the company in Houston, where everyone was upset with the Mulvaney collaboration, including management. Nobody's happy about it, said the unnamed man. Lahren confirmed his employment at the company through pay stubs. Everybody thinks it was a very bad idea. Obviously, it's sales and everything shows that. So, they expressed that fact that they were shocked. Why would they do this? What were they thinking, especially now? It's like the worst possible time, yet the best time if the company were trying to change the way it operates from a corporate level, he continued. That's just my opinion, and many of us are talking about that. It's like they planned it that way, that this was a strategic destruction of Bud Light. Now, I don't know if I buy that entirely, but stranger things have happened. Much stranger things have happened. The employee went on to say that since the company was acquired by Belgian brewer InBev in 2008, several years before the employee joined the company, the new owners moved to change the working culture. When the company was bought by InBev, a lot of things changed. It's an American brand that pays extremely well with the benefits and things of that nature. When InBev took over, they didn't like that. So they've been trying to get rid of many of the benefits of working for an American company like Anheuser-Busch, and they can't because we have a strong union. The employee speculated that Bud Light had been experiencing deteriorating sales for many years, prompting executives to say, let's put the final nail in the coffin. Now we have to do layoffs and a lot of loss of production. He continued, it will be easy for the company to restructure, let's say pay our contracts. We have a contract coming up and where they'll say, well, we don't have business anymore. So we're forced to change these things, and it's kind of how everybody feels. It's too obvious that they would just mistakenly do this and not expect these repercussions. Anybody could tell you that this was going to happen. The former employee went on to say that things are so bad that there's no overtime for work available for the upcoming 4th of July holiday, despite it being the company's busiest time for business. He also said that laid off workers were hoping to eventually return to the job once sales ramp up again, which is the hope because nobody wants to lose their job. I agree with the boycotts because I have children and I see what's happening, but we suffer because we have veterans that work. They're American citizens, our neighbors. We're losing our job. So it's a double-edged sword. I'm angry at the company at a corporate level, the man continued, just because they had to have known this was going to happen and they let it happen. They have 100 people on staff that literally sit there and monitor this stuff all the time. So it's pretty sure they had the conversation. As for why, it's only speculation, but from previous years and the way they tried to take away what this company has run in the past until now, it's not the same company it was when it started. It was a really good company. You see the difference of American families working there now. It's just bare bone, go to work, do your job, go home. It's not the same. Well, that is an interesting position to have. I don't know. I certainly see how people might think that. And this dude's worked there. It'll be interesting. It was such a obvious, idiotic mistake that you got to give it some credence, I suppose. Let me know what you think. You think it was on purpose? I don't know. Make sure you let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you leave a like on this video. And if you haven't yet, please do subscribe. We'll talk to you again real soon.